Despite the crowded field of survival thrillers, Netflix's Squid Game has unexpectedly achieved monumental success beyond imagination. With a story that's easy to follow and deeply relatable, it tackles the theme of moral decay in a society where money reigns supreme. Squid Game is a prime example of understanding its audience. Its razor-sharp marketing campaign perfectly captures the zeitgeist. Coupled with masterful production, this South Korean gem isn't just one of the most-watched series in history, but has cemented itself as a cultural phenomenon. No introduction is needed. Many viewers can still recite the rules of its deadly games by heart. Today, let's pick up the phone and dial the number on that cryptic business card to sign up once more for these lethal children's games. It all begins on an empty lot with a group of scruffy kids. Intensely focused, they're playing a game called Squid Game with deceptively simple rules. First, the group splits into two teams. One attacks, the other defends. They battle within pre-drawn lines. The defenders must push all enemies out. The attackers must risk everything to reach the circle at the end of the field. Shoving and tearing at each other's clothes, the afternoon sun and the kids' carefree spirit evoke a poignant nostalgia. They revel in the pure joy of the game and victory, unaware of what lies ahead. As adults, people no longer play for fun, but for the value of the prize. And so, fast forward decades later, that boy from Sangmun-dong is now Seong Gi-hoon. Now a man in his 40s, he's still drawn to games, but now it's gambling. Living in his lonely elderly mother's rundown house, scraping by as a driver with a meager salary, he quickly earns the audience's pity. He even has to beg for money to buy a birthday gift for his young daughter. Divorced with no career or direction, Gi-hun lives the life of a true gambler, leaving his fate to the roll of the dice. First, Gi-hun waits for his mother to leave so he can steal her savings card, only to realize he doesn't know the PIN. After some thought, he recalls it's his daughter's birthday. He tries her birth date as the PIN and luckily withdraws the money. Taking all the money to the racetrack, his daughter's birth date continues to be his lucky charm. His chosen horses run faster than usual, winning him 4 million won. But the joy is short-lived. While boasting to his daughter about his betting prowess, Gi-hun spots loan sharks in the distance. He bolts into a bathroom, but his streak of luck vanishes when a strange woman pickpockets his cash. He narrowly escapes a brutal beating from the gangsters. In the end, Gi-hun signs a contract pledging his body in desperation. He sheepishly asks for the 10,000 won tip he gave the ticket seller and leaves. Realizing he has no gift for his daughter, Gi-hun spends his remaining change on a claw machine. With help from a nearby pro, Gi-hun wins a beautiful gift box, only to discover it contains a gun-shaped lighter completely unsuitable for a little girl. Losing his mother's savings, humiliated before his daughter beaten by loan sharks, and met with his ex-wife's disappointed gaze, Gi-hun's life boils down to 2 words: utter failure. No lessons learned, his life spirals in a cycle of gambling wins and losses, with empty promises that never materialize. But everything changes the moment Gi-hun meets a sharply dressed man in a suit at the subway station. The man entices him to play a game of dakji, where each win earns 100,000 won, and each loss costs a stinging slap. The rules are simple: flip the opponent's paper tile to score. In the first 10 rounds, Gi-hun's cheeks burn red like tomatoes. But after getting the hang of it, he earns a decent sum, flashing a cryptic smile. The suave man asks for nothing more, leaving only a business card inviting Gi-hun to a game that could win him a fortune. Sensing something shady, Gi-hun isn't too eager at first. He takes his small winnings home to his mother, only to receive shocking news. His ex-wife and her new husband are preparing to move to America with his young daughter. This means to see his daughter, he'll need far more money than the prize from a day of slaps. Backed into a corner, gambling becomes his bet to change his life. So he picks up the phone, dials the number on the card, and the protagonist agrees to join Squid Game. Directed to a meeting point, he's knocked out with sleeping gas as soon as he enters the van. Before he can grasp what's happening, Gi-hun wakes up in a strange room. Here, he's locked in a room with hundreds of unfamiliar players. Their clothes are numbered, and they're watched closely by cameras. While looking around, Gi-hun runs into Sae-byuk, the woman who stole his 4 million won from the racetrack. She's clashing with a menacing tattooed thug. Turns out they were once part of the same pickpocketing gang, but later had a falling out. With his outgoing nature, Gi-hun quickly befriends an old man, player Thezreo 1. He also reunites with his old neighbor Sang-woo. But before greetings, a group in pink uniforms and masks enters. They recite the names, birth years, hometowns, and debts of each player with chilling precision. We learn all 456 players are desperate souls drowning in debt. Each carries a crushing debt like Gi-hun's. Unable to pay, they cling to the game as a chance to turn their lives around. Briefly explain the staff, then make everyone sign a form agreeing to 3 simple rules. 1. Players cannot quit voluntarily. 2. Refusing to play means elimination. 3. If the majority agrees, the game will stop. Without much thought, Gi-hun and the other 455 players line up to sign. Smiling for photos, they step into a large, vibrantly painted room. Here, they stare bewildered at a giant doll at the room's end, alongside some eerie figures. Turns out, this is the stage for the first game called Red Light, Green Light. A game every kid has played. The rules are dead simple. When the robot faces forward and sings, everyone can move. But if anyone moves when it turns back, they're eliminated. In 5 minutes, simply cross the line to win. Thinking it's a piece of cake, 2 young guys bet each other and sprint ahead. The catch is the organizers didn't clarify that elimination doesn't mean going home. It means death. Before stopping when the robot turns, a blonde player takes the first bullet to the chest. Witnessing it firsthand, those behind him flee in terror, meeting the same fate with blood splattered on their faces. The third goes mad, then the fourth, the fifth, and so on. All players panic, abandon their positions, and are gunned down. In under 30 seconds, the room reeks of blood. Hundreds of unlucky victims pound the doors to escape, but to no avail, becoming target practice for machine guns. Only the calm survive. The old man, player Eder 01 Saebyok, and neighbor Sang-woo slowly regain composure, seizing the chance to reach the finish line. Once the rules are clear, caution is enough to pass. Gi-hun also makes it through the death trap, nearly tripping, but saved just in time by a young Pakistani man named Ali. Crossing the finish line with 1 second to spare, Gi-hun and the others realize this is hell itself. Back in the dorm, everyone screams to stop. Some plead about their young kids. Others say they're not ready to die yet. The guards insist it's a chance to get rich. Luckily, Sang-woo recalls the 3rd rule from the signed form. If the majority agrees, the game stops. Everyone cheers, thinking escape is near. Then stacks of cash pour from the ceiling into a giant transparent piggy bank. This is the prize after the first challenge, calculated by the number of those eliminated. For each player killed, hundreds of millions of won stack up in the piggy bank. After Red Light, Green Light 255 die equaling 25.5 billion, won a sum enough to tempt any gambler, especially those drowning in debt. So when the vote to stop the game happens, the tide shifts. Barely escaping death, Gi-hun doesn't hesitate to press the X button to go home. Yet from Saebyok to the Thug and even Sang-woo, they choose the green O button to stay. For them, taking the money out is the top priority. The vote grows intense. When only the old man player 001 remains, the score is tied at 100. This means the oldest player's choice will decide. Recall he mentioned a brain tumor and cares little for life or death. Fortunately, after much hesitation, he picks red, and 201 players are freed. So in an old van, Gi-hun is returned to reality where he remains a failure. The past of Sang-woo and others slowly unravel. A neighbor to Gi-hun, Sang-woo, is described as brilliant. He aced Seoul University, landed a dream job, and was the pride of Sangmun-dong. But only when police come to arrest him does his mother learn her son sank everything into derivatives, losing 6 billion won. Worse, he embezzled funds, forged documents, and faces criminal charges. Though polite to all, something sinister lurks in his eyes. Next is Ali, the young man who saved Gi-hun's life. He left his homeland for a fresh start in Korea. His life isn't easy. His boss owes him 6 months' pay while he has a wife and young child at home. Furious, Ali snatches a cash envelope from his boss, accidentally causing the man's hand to be crushed in a press. Saebyok player 067 is no less tragic in this race of misery. A North Korean defector, her family is torn apart. Her parents are detained at the border, her brother sent to an orphanage, and human traffickers rob her blind. Always alone, Saebyok's future looks grim. Her stern face sees dead ends everywhere. The snake-tattooed thug lives a true life of crime, pulling every scam and robbery to survive, even against his own gang. With everyone turning their backs, the traitor's fate is to be hunted, living in hiding on the run. And finally, we can't forget our protagonist Gi-hun. Barely breathing the air of freedom, he returns home to devastating news: his mother has severe diabetes, needing surgery, even amputation of her rotting foot. Gi-hun shamelessly begs his ex-wife, or rather her new husband, for money. If you notice, Gi-hun isn't greedy, playing Dakjae with the sharp-dressed man he wants to win just to slap him even for getting the prize. He gives a stray cat a piece of fish, and during the vote, he doesn't hesitate to press the stop button, seeing the game's inhumanity. But it's hard to stay virtuous with empty pockets. His daughter's sad eyes staring at him in his most pathetic state drive him to despair. So in Seoul's dark night, the wretched realize they've escaped a small prison only to be trapped in a harsher one. Inside or outside the game, it's still hell. By chance, the invitation cards arrive. They reach Ali after his crime Sang-woo as he lies in a bathtub awaiting death. Se-byok in dire straits, the thug chased by his gang, the old man without purpose, and Gi-hun trudging home under heavy rain. Cornered, they all pick up the card, and as if they never voted, agree once more to join the game. Life is hell anyway. At least in Squid Game, the suffering pays in cash, lots of cash. The vans arrive, and the game truly begins. Pausing the main events that night, an uninvited guest arrives at the rendezvous, young cop Hwang Jun-ho. He has a missing brother long out of touch, leaving only a card with triangle, circle, square symbols. By chance that morning, Gi-hun reports to the police station, flashing a similar card. Suspicious Jun-ho risks tailing him, reaching the players' gathering point at the dock. Through the young cop's eyes, we see the game's chilling procedures. After picking up all participants, the van boards a large ferry to an island. The soldiers are ranked clearly with circle-marked masks for regular staff. Triangles denote armed soldiers, while squares mark managers with higher authority. Above the squares is a man in black overseeing all game processes, and above him, an even more mysterious figure. Quickly disposing of an unlucky staff member, Jun-ho takes his gear, blending into the shadowy organization. The ferry docks at a strange island. Here, the staff change the players' clothes, strip their personal items, and move them to a dorm. After their shift, the staff return to their rooms, lock the doors, and can't leave. Even the staff are numbered and forbidden from revealing their identities to each other. A tightly run system. Sneaking into the room of player 29, the young cop steps into a dangerous network. Back to the players after the sedative wears off, Ji-hoon is thrilled to reunite with Sang-woo Ali and the old man player 001. Of the 201 players who left that day, 187 returned, proving the allure of the cash-filled transparent piggy bank above is immense. Knowing they'll face absurd games, Ji-hoon, Sang-woo player 001 and Ali form a four-person team to support each other. The old man likes Ji-hoon's outgoing nature, while Ali admires Sang-woo for giving him bus fare earlier. Only Se-byok chooses solitude. Naturally cautious, she pretends to be sedated in the van, secretly carrying a small knife when changing. At night, while everyone sleeps, she asks to use the bathroom, then uses the knife to pry open a vent cover. From there, she sees staff preparing a sugar-based dish for the next challenge. Quickly realizing Se-byok player 67 holds a secret, Sang-woo sidles up, promising to share info if he guesses it. And Sang-woo does it successfully, guessing the next challenge from a single hint. But Sang-woo decides not to share it with anyone. As mentioned, there's something dark within him. Though the first time the announcement blares, and the group is led to a colorful room. Here, each player picks one of four shapes: triangle, circle, star, or umbrella, to play a game called Honeycomb Toffee. Turns out it's the sugar dish Se-byok saw. The rules are simple. Successfully carve out your chosen shape from the candy without breaking it to win. As usual, a single crack means a bullet. After 10 minutes, anyone who hasn't carved it out faces a death sentence. Having guessed it, Sang-woo picks the triangle, the easiest shape, and quickly succeeds. Though not tipped off, Se-byok smartly follows Sang-woo's lead, escaping death. Ali, clueless but lucky to pick the circle, finds it not too tough. Only the old man choosing the star takes time, and Ji-hoon pales as his umbrella shape is the hardest to carve. So 10 minutes pass like hell. Clutching a needle, scraping away, victory slips further from Ji-hoon. Worse, it's hard to focus with gunshots ringing out nearby. Just a tiny crack in the shape means elimination. One person, then dozens are killed that day. In desperation, genius strikes. While struggling to survive, Ji-hoon discovers sweat can melt the sugar, thinning the candy. Licking the candy thin, his clever idea saves not only player 001, but dozens after him. Licking until the candy is paper thin, he successfully carves the umbrella, perhaps the happiest moment of his life. The thug also escapes death when Han lends him a lighter to heat the needle, making the candy easier to carve. Her goal is to join his crew, the strongest team at the moment, packed with hardened criminals. And that's what happened in the first 4 episodes of Squid Game Season 1. Thanks for watching our video. We're Blockbuster Review. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for our latest uploads. We're grateful for your support as we aim for 1 million subscribers. Until next time, enjoy the movie.